Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, That Model Railway Guy. Welcome to yet another live stream, the third live stream out of 5 of the 5,000 subscriber celebrations. I want to say specials and celebrations. It's the first flub of the evening. There we go, we're off to a good start already. However, as I was just saying in the chat a moment ago, we have started on time, which is progress for me. So, who have we got in the chat? I saw some of you as we were doing the countdown there. So, Building Blonde, hello to you, Lewis Cartwright, Optrix, Phil Parrish, Railway 187, Toad the Brake Van, Redvers B, Sven Prost, Prost, is that Proust? Sen Prost, Matthew Hobbs Railway, Andrew Chiroux, and I think that's it. On Tim Maslin's just popped in as well. Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to have you here tonight. So, we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. As you know, normally the layout runs, my layout runs on DCC, which is Digital Command Control, which is where every loco has a little decoder in it. It means I can do fancy things like run the trains from my phone and have more than one engine on a track at a time. However, one thing that I started out was, and I think most people do start out with, is DC, analog control, which is very simple. You know, it's a little analog controller. You power the track, and any train that is on the track goes. And so we're going to be running some of those engines tonight. These are basically going to be, the majority of the engines you're going to see tonight are engines that I had as a kid, that I still have to this day, that all still work actually, and engines that were passed on down to me from grandparents or other family members, or have just been given to me over the years, which I'm very grateful for. And so we're going to run some of these engines tonight, and hopefully it'll be a bit different. Most of them you won't have seen before. There are going to be a couple of modern surprises in there though. Let's get up and running. We'll get a train running, and I think what we'll do first of all, I've got to remember to actually use the physical controller for this. But hopefully if you look to the top left of your screen now, you should see coming out from under the bridge a little Ginty, which has got that rake of Mark I coaches behind it, which I had before. And this is the second loco I was ever given, funnily enough. So yeah, this was given to me by my granddad. It's been around a bit. So, but it's still a really, really nice runner, actually. I think it's a Ginty anyway. It's one of those Hornby sort of old kind of, you know, it might be a 3F, or a Ginty is a 3F, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, but it certainly looks like that, and it's sort of in that old LMS kind of style as it goes through under the tunnel there. So it'll be background in a minute, and we can do a little bit of faffing around with it. However, while I remember, if you would like to request to see a specific loco on the layout today, then you can do that by sending in a super chat and let me know what your request is, what your loco request is. At the bottom, you can see the roster, which is going across the screen now. So where it says in that little ticker tape at the bottom where it says tonight's roster is, and you can kind of get an idea of what the locos are there. However, I can just show you now, these are the locos that we have, that I currently have on the layout at the moment. So if you would like to see any of those running, please do send in a super chat. So we'll go through them really quickly now. We have Hogwarts Castle at the top left there, so big express steam engine. I imagine that one will be quite popular. A Class 25, which is a really, really nice runner as well. That one was given to me by a good friend of mine called Al Howell, who I've just seen in the chat as well. So hello, Al. Then we've got a BR Green a BR Green Class 08, which was also given to me by Al as well. And then also similar to that, I've got an 08 in blue as well. We then also have a rather modern engine, which is the Hornby SC and CR-H class. The only reason this is running on DC at the moment is because I haven't found a decoder that fits in it yet. So that's what we're going to be, we're going to attempt to run that on DC tonight. And that is the special edition one of the H class that is at the Bluebell Railway as well, for anybody that is interested. Next to that, we've got the Ginty, which is what's on the track at the moment. And then on the bottom line, you can see we've got Thomas, another one I imagine that might be a bit popular, along with Percy as well. And then we also have Peter, which is an Austerity J94. Again, you know, I've got plenty of those already. You've seen them on the channel multiple times, but this one just hasn't got a decoder in it yet. And then right at the bottom there, we have a Southern Terrier. Yeah, I went and bought another Hornby Terrier. because I like them so much. This one, so unlike Stepney, which is an A1, this is the A1X, so I wanted to have one of each, and the Southern livery looked good. So if you'd like to see that one running, that would be a good shout. You'd get a lot of points from me. Anyway, let's go back to the layout, and we'll wait and see if a train comes. Oh, there we go. There's a train coming round now. And so, yeah, you can see that actually, considering that this is a relatively old loco, and all of these locos, apart from the two modern ones, they are, they're getting on a bit now. But for the most part, they run really, really well. So yeah, I hope you all have an interesting evening. I'm really enjoying sort of doing these live streams and kind of having a few of them back to back, actually. So we might do this again in the future if if I don't collapse by the end of this. Oh, I've left you on a bit of a screen there. Sorry, we'll go back to that screen there, and you can actually see and hear me rather than just looking at nothing. But yeah, so it's good to have you all here. Oh, I've just seen we've got Anfield Road layout in the loft as well, and John Riley is here. Hello. Model Railway legend as well. Lewis Cartwright says, please could you run the Hogwarts Castle with a rake of Mark 1 maroon coaches? Yeah, absolutely, I can do that if you send in a super chat. So yeah, Lewis, if you send in a super chat with a request, then I'm more than happy to run that. Yeah, we've got, like I say, we've got all those other locos that are ticking along the bottom of the screen at the moment as the Ginty comes through the station now. The only little sort of downside of running things on DC actually is that it only really means I can have one engine on the layout at a time, other than in the fiddle yard. I've got lots of engines in the fiddle yard, but of course you guys can't really see that section, can you? But yeah, just because of the way that the layout is wired up for DCC control, it means that everything is live, which means when I put power to the track, anything that was in the siding, any locos that were in the siding would start moving as well. So yeah. Railway 187 says, I have very little rolling stock from my childhood left, but I do buy vintage rolling stock second-hand regularly. Yeah, that does seem to be a good way to go, actually, if you want to end up with, if you want to do model railways sort of, and you're on a strict budget. I think that is one of the things that actually the budget model railways guys do. They buy a lot of stuff on eBay, don't they? Or at least they used to. I don't know if they still do. And is it just me, or is that loco slowing down a little bit? I think the room is slightly wonky here, so it means that when it's going through the station, it's technically going uphill. You don't notice it as much with the DCC locos because the decoder sort of compensates for the extra load. But yeah, you certainly notice it with the DC locos, with the analog locos. Who else have we got? Oh, Leighton's Loco says, evening all, hello. So yeah, as per usual, we're going to go for about an hour tonight, unless of course any super chats come in at the very last minute. But yeah, Optrix says, I have that station building, but with green-blue doors. Ah, so that would be presumably that one you can see there. Yeah, that's the Hornby Scaledale. Now I'm going to get it wrong. Is it Scaledale East? I think so, or something like that. It's I'm presuming it's based off of something from the Settle and Carlisle Railway, or sort of somewhere up north, Midlandy kind of. The LMS kind of running line. That's kind of why I went for it, because it reminded me of the station buildings at places like Empsey and Bolton Abbey and Keighley and Worth Valley, those sorts of railways. As you can see, the little Ginty coming through now. Should we just stop the Ginty for a moment? We'll just appreciate it. So yeah, you can see in a few places it is a little bit worse for wear. It does seem to be missing one of the buffers at the front there, which I didn't notice earlier. But yeah, this is an interesting livery, isn't it? Because it's the Is this the LMS sort of pre-grouping livery, or have I got that completely wrong? But yeah, it's an interesting sort of livery. We haven't seen much stuff in that sort of pre-grouping LMS livery, have we? Although isn't I believe is it the precedent from Rails of Sheffield / Bachmann? Is it Bachmann they're making that with? Anyway, that they're doing one of those in this livery, aren't they? But I don't think I've ever seen any other ready-to-run locos in this livery. Anyway, let's we'll get this going again. It's not particularly prototypical having it run with those Mark 1 coaches, but it was the best I could do. As you can see, though, it is a really nice runner. I mean, it's this is a loco that is at least 30 years old now, I would imagine. And to have it run sort of so smoothly like this is yeah, it's I'm quite impressed actually. I didn't even realize it could go that slowly. And there we go. That's the new tunnel section with the scenery on that coming round sort of nearing completion. You might have noticed there's a few extra trees on there. I've been slowly working my way through making those trees, so it's a long process, but I do enjoy it to a certain extent. Right, Tim Maslin says, off topic, but have you delayed the release of your platform video? No, I haven't delayed it. I just wanted to make sure that, the video that came out over the weekend was, last weekend that is, on Sunday, was the great, what is it called? The Great Electric Train Show. Is that it? I can't even remember now. Yeah, I think it is. It gets whatever it is. Yeah. So because that was last weekend, I basically wanted to make sure I got that video out that weekend while it was sort of still fresh in everyone's mind and while people were sort of interested in seeing what was at the exhibition. So that was why the platform video didn't come out last week. I'm just basically putting the finishing touches on it. And so hopefully it will be out very, very soon. I don't want to give you a definite date because if I find some sort of problem with it or it won't export or something like that always seems to happen a bit with me. So I'm not going to give you a definite date because I might end up disappointing you. But it's coming very, very soon. It will be the next layout update. The modular layout update will be to do with the platforms. And so, yeah, hopefully that will be coming very, very soon. And hopefully after that, you're going to get modular railway videos fairly often from now. Let's just go back to the comments again because I've realised there's lots of comments going past. Al says his mum's watching as well. Oh, fantastic! Oh well, we'll have to get one of your dad's locos running in a minute then. Once we've got the Ginty, we'll let that do a few more circuits, and once I've answered a few more questions, we'll get one of your dad's locos going, and that'll be good. Standard 406 says Ginty looks nice, fantastic. Yeah, it does indeed, doesn't it? It is a really unique livery, isn't it? Lewis Cartwright says, I got some nameplates today and I put the nameplates on my standard 4MT. So now my standard 4MT is number 75006 Captain Tom Moore. Oh, wow, fantastic. So that's something a little bit different there, isn't it? Now, am I right in thinking they named a Class 66 after him? I think they did, didn't they? But that's quite a unique sort of thing to have a 4. Was it a 4MT? Yeah, standard 4MT. You said that's quite a cool little thing. Darknut69 says, "Do you plan getting any modern diesels like the Class 66?" Possibly. Yeah. I mean, well, it's a bit tricky for me. Well, actually, I suppose I could justify it to a certain extent because my layout is a heritage railway, so it's based in the modern day. But it's just a preserved line that is running steam engines. I know that some heritage railways, they do occasionally have Class 66s turn up there. The problem with me really is that locos are so expensive these days that I don't really want to spend money on stuff that I'm only going to use every so often. So generally, if I'm going to spend a lot of money on a loco, then it has to really be worthwhile for me. It has to be something that I really want to use. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't make enough from the YouTube channel yet where I can, justify buying locos just for the hell of it. I saw some good questions further up, so I'm just scrolling back now. Railway 187 says, "Oh yes, crawls are possible in DC with a good locomotive at least." Yeah, oh absolutely, crawls are definitely possible in DC. Actually, if you check out some of my earlier videos, they were all. A lot of the stuff to do with Pickwick Yard, my little shunting layout, a lot of that was all on DC. And yeah, you can certainly the J94s, the austerities, they're really good. My sort of the reason I was so surprised about this Ginty that we've got running at the moment being so good was just because it's such an old loco, and B they weren't really like these were like kind of Hornby's sort of toy train set things. Well, yeah, I was just surprised that A, it's held up so well, and B, that for a relatively simple loco, it actually ran this well to begin with. But yeah, it's a really good little runner anyway. And speaking of the Ginty, I think that's we've had about enough of that now, haven't we? So we'll see this go around one more time. There it goes. It goes past the signal box and the shed, and then sort of past my hastily positioned buildings. And then off it goes, disappearing into the tunnel. And we'll stop it this time. And seeing as we haven't had any super chats yet, there's no other requests yet. So if you would like to request a loco, please do send in a super chat. It all goes towards helping me basically keep these videos coming out and allowing me to sort of spend my time making you guys happy, basically. But for the moment, I'm going to send another loco around. And this one is going to be, you're going to see it in just a second, but it's going to come out of the tunnel because we're going to go around the opposite way around this time. We're going to see if this works. And there you go. You can see it coming now. It is the Class 25. Sorry, I nearly got that wrong there, didn't I? And there you go. I have to run this one a bit fast because it is a much older loco. Oh, where's it coming? There we go. There it is. We got there eventually. And that's also got a set of coaches that you haven't seen before as well. That's got some blood and custard coaches. Is it blood and custard? I don't know. The crimson and cream, or whatever the official name is for it. I don't actually know what type of coaches these are. They're GWR of some sort, I think. But yeah, they're very nice, whatever they are. They've sort of got like, I don't know, like the doors are on a slight angle. So if anyone can tell me what they are. They came in a set with, I want to say Winchester Castle. So presumably that's a castle class then. But yeah, anyway, this particular loco, this Class 25, was given to me very recently by my good friend Al Hal, who you may see knocking about in the chat tonight. He very kindly gave me this loco after his dad very sadly passed away. I had no idea that his dad was into model railways and had all this stuff. But what is incredible is that this loco has sat in a box for the best part of, I don't know, 20, 30 years until I got it out one day. And then I basically put it on the track and it worked perfectly. So it's incredible. So, yes. Right. So, let's go back to some... we've got some questions and lots of people turning up to the chat. Anyway, I must say thank you to Al Hal for letting me have this loco. Very kind of you. And hopefully your dad would enjoy seeing it run round. So, we had a question asked from earlier. The modders just pointed out to me. Do point motors work on DC? Presumably not. They can work on DC. Well, you don't run them from the track power, basically. You have an external power source. And so I think actually it depends what point motors you're actually using. So my point motors that I have on the layout aren't actually connected to the track power at all. It's just the servos. So the Megapoint system that I'm using, you could use on a DC layout. It makes no difference how the layout is running because the point system itself is independent. Does that make sense? And that's not just for the Megapoint system. So you could use... what else? You could use like solenoid motors. Some people that are especially designed like point turnout motors, like tortoise motors, stuff like that. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be on a DC. It doesn't have to be on a DCC layout. You can equally just as well motorize the points on a DC layout. So yeah. Of course, if you're getting into stuff like, switching the polarity of the frogs and everything like that, then it gets a bit more complicated. That I'm not too sure about because I never bother with that stuff. I just stick with Insul frog points because Electro frog points make my head hurt, basically. New Junction is here as well. Hello, it was good to meet you at the weekend, Richard. I hope I didn't annoy you too much, but thank you for letting me have a go on that Class 47. It was very much appreciated, even though I couldn't stay for very long. I was running for a train at the time, a real train, not a model one. Roof Railways is here as well. Railway 187 said your platform is a bit underpopulated, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's not quite finished yet, so that's why there's no one waiting around. The car park has still got to be built, so I'm sure once the car park is put in, then it'll start filling up quite a lot. But yeah, it is looking a bit barren and derelict at the moment, isn't it, as well? Who else have we got in the chat? PH's Railways video says, I think they did, yes. I'm not entirely sure what that was in relation to, but I'm sure it made sense at the time. Muteki Fedora, did I get your name right this time? Is that how you pronounce it? I'm hoping it is. Anyway, they say, where did you get the legs to hold up your modules? I'm just going to go back to the split screen so you can actually see the loco running around while I'm doing this. So the legs that hold up all the modules are from Homebase, I believe. They're literally their trestle legs. I'm literally checking the label on one as we speak now. Yeah, they're literally just like pine wood sort of trestle things that you just literally buy them in bulk. Like, well, you don't have to buy them in bulk. They're about £6 each, I think. And I mean, to be perfectly honest, I did think about constructing my own, but because these are mass-produced, these legs, they are essentially all made to exactly the same specifications. So they're probably more accurate than I could have built myself. And not only that, but they are, well, it's probably the cost of the wood just to make them myself. You know, it would have cost me at least £6 per set of legs anyway, plus all the hinges and everything. So it was just a very cheap way to get the layout supported, really. And I've got several of those, and they just all fold away when I'm not using the layout. So, yeah, it's quite a good solution, actually. They are a little bit wide for the layout, because my layout is only 50 centimetres wide. In terms of depth, not in terms of length, obviously. And I think the legs themselves are something like 75 centimeters, maybe 80. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, they certainly work very well, and the extra length means that I can always, you know, clamp cameras to them like I have tonight. So yeah. So yeah, this little Class 25 is running really, really nicely. I know it's going around at a bit of a breakneck speed, but I don't think it will go any slower than this. Well, it probably will. It might not make it up the hill. Should we try? We'll try slowing it down on the next run round anyway. So who have we got in the chat? Oh, Timber Surf is here as well. Hello. And there's somebody he's talking about a new car. I'm assuming that's for somebody else and not me. Oh yes, I see now. Oh, that right. I'm guessing someone had a bit of an accident with their car. Then is that you, Richard? Sorry about that. That's annoying, isn't it? Right. Lewis Cartwright says, I have a Lima Class 47 and I want to name it, but I don't know what to name it. Thought about naming it Howitzer. Howitzer or is it Howitzer? I don't know. But I'm not sure what could we call it. Any suggestions? So guys, if you there you go. We have a good request. If you have any ideas for what Lewis Cartwright can name his Class 47, stick them in the chat. And I presume it would be good to tag him in those as well, just so that he knows that the messages are for him. And also so I know they're not for me. New Junction says, the pleasure was all mine. I'm assuming that's in relation to me driving the Class 47. Yeah, thank you. Made me very happy. It was a great end to the day for me. Tim Maslin says, which heritage railway have you based yours on? I live close to the Severn Valley Railway. My heritage railway, I mean, it's not based on anything in particular. So I used to volunteer at the Empsey and Bolton Abbey Steam Railway up in Yorkshire, and so if you look, if you look at the yard section that we have here, this yard is sort of it's roughly, I say roughly, very 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 roughly the layout plan or the track plan at Empsey, but flipped sort of 180 degrees, I guess is how you do it. So and of course I haven't done so. If I point some stuff out here, so this is like the coal dock bit here, and then that's going into the shed. I think they've only got one road that goes into the shed. I've got two because I wanted a bit of extra fun, but then they also go on and they join up to a loop around the back as well. So yeah, lots of stuff happening there. Then there's the double slip there as well. I think again there's a single slip, but I just did a double slip because I wanted to make things complicated for myself. And then a couple of little sidings up here. So it's sort of a bit of a mixture between Empsey and then also I want to say Oakworth. Is it Oakworth? Yeah. Again, that's sort of flipped on its side though. So, but yeah, the railway in particular isn't the layout in its sort of, you know, overall isn't supposed to be a particular layout. It's just sort of supposed to evoke a kind of Midlandy sort of kind of railway-ish, I guess, which is why I've got that sort of Midland style built station building and everything sort of painted in the cream and maroon. So yeah, hopefully that makes a bit of sense. But yeah, I think it's more the atmosphere of a heritage railway that I'm going for rather than a specific heritage railway. So Redvers B says that Pico back scene looks quite interesting. Yeah, it's well, funnily enough, this is the one I had on my Hornby train set layout as a kid, and somehow it's managed to survive all these years. I don't know if Pico still make this, but it's literally just like it's like one of those rolls that they used to do. But yeah, I just stuck it on here because it was better than you seeing me wandering around in the background while I'm switching cameras and moving locos and stuff. So yeah. So, oh, we've got some stuff. We've got some names coming in for the class 47, so that's good to see. Excellent. So this class 25 is still running very, very nicely, isn't it? Standard 406 says they went to the Severn Valley Railway. It took about 3 hours by train. I assume when you say SVR, you mean Severn Valley Railway and not Spa Valley Railway, because I'm a volunteer at Spa Valley Railway, and obviously our initials are the same. It's SVR. But obviously I assume that when everyone says SVR, they're talking about the Severn Valley Railway, because I think that's far more popular than Spa, really. Well, not necessarily more popular, just more well-known, shall we say. That's probably the way to go. Taylor D, oh no, it's not Taylor D, it's a smiley face. Sorry, I'm not down with the kids anymore. That's the problem. So Taylor says, random question, what's your favourite model that you have? That is a really, really, really tricky question. I don't know. Which is a bit of a cop-out, really. I don't know. That's a really tricky one. I used to like the Peckett, the W4 Peckett, but now I also equally like the... I also really, really like the B2 Pecketts that Hornby have done as well. The Terriers, I think they're just really, really charming locos. Actually, we'll have to get that Southern Terrier that I've got running at some point as well, so you can see that. I don't know. The P class is great. As for tender engines, the J15 is. I'm just literally looking at all my engines in their little display case, just so I can remind myself of the vast amounts of engines that I've somehow acquired over the years, and just sort of slightly having a bit of an internal crisis as I do that, but. Yeah, I mean, in terms of uniqueness, I mean, the Hornby Live Steam has to be, it has to be up there. I don't think I can say what a specific engine is, what a specific engine of mine is a favourite, though, because I like lots of different ones for lots of different reasons. I mean, that SECRD class that Dapple came out with recently, that's really, really nice as well. Not without its faults, of course, but it's, as far as pre-grouping locos go, it's pretty much sort of like right up there. I love all my industrial stuff as well, so little Barclays and, little industrial, the austerities, so the J94s. So, yeah. Basically, what I've come down to is I like all my engines, which I know isn't particularly helpful there. Maybe I should do a top 10 video at some point. The problem is, as well, as I keep acquiring more and more locos, it changes. And I know that I've got several locos on pre-order as well, which is yeah. So anyway, let me go back to the chat here. Andre Shiru says, when is the next Model Railway Basics episode coming out? At the moment, there isn't any more planned for the moment. Just because I've kind of gone as far as I could with it, really. I don't really know. I mean, if anyone's got any suggestions of what else that could be done to cover Model Railway Basics, but I mean, we did building baseboards, laying the track, ballasting, sort of building hills and landscaping, and then static grass. And there was also an episode on wiring in there as well somewhere. So I don't really know what else I could cover. But yeah, if anyone does have any suggestions of what you would like to see from a Model Railway Basics video, do let me know, and I'll if the thing with the Model Railway Basics videos is that we shot them all together, so all of them were shot over the course of like a week or two. So really, to make it worthwhile to start making that series again, we'd have to come up with at least another 6 ideas to sort of really have a good crack at making another video. Or another series of videos of it. But yeah, I kind of like it as a little self-contained series. It's not too overwhelming. It just gives you the very sort of basic idea of what you need to do to start building a model railway, really, which is what I liked about it. So, yeah. Al Hal says, down with the kids. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. He'll know what that means. Standard 406 says, my favourite model train is probably my mainline Jubilee. I love the look of Midland engines. Yeah, do you know what? I'm not too sort of au fait with mainline locos, if I'm perfectly honest. I should probably really do more research on them. But yeah, and even the Jubilees as well. Like, I'm not massively clued up on them. You talk to me about industrial engines, and I probably know what you're on about. But yeah, express engines have always, there's so much variety, and dare I say it, a lot of them do tend to look the same. I mean, not necessarily the Jubilees, but I mean, you know, when you start getting into Gresley and Thompson and Peppercorn and all that stuff, they, you know, they, well, basically just LNER stuff, but it does all tend to look a bit, well, it goes over my head a little bit anyway. PH's Railway Videos says, personally, it's probably my West Country class, but it does have a habit of derailing. Yeah, that's always really annoying, isn't it? When you have a favourite loco, but it's one that tends to derail all the time. That's it's frustrating, isn't it? Oh, Tom Ward is here. Good evening. Sorry I'm late. No worries at all, Tom. You can always catch up with the first half hour when this stream ends. You can scroll back now if you'd like. But it's either way, it's great to have you here. And Taylor says, to be honest, I don't have a favourite model in my little collection. Yeah, I think that we love them all equally, don't we? And we love them all for different reasons. Oh, hello. We've got a little subscriber that's just popped up. That's Joshua Michael Lum has just subscribed. Thank you, Joshua. That's very kind of you. I am slowly. This stream is to celebrate 5,000 subscribers, but obviously we are. Well, I am sort of accumulating subscribers at quite a rapid rate at this point. I think we are nearly up to 6,000 now. We're about 300 away from 6,000. So yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a. Well, at some point we're going to have another sort of celebration of some sort. I don't know what I'm going to do for that, but I have a little bit of an idea. Yeah. Anyway, the chat is running away from me today. I'm terrible. Do you know what I will say? I will say that if you have any specific questions that I don't get round to answering tonight, the next stream that I'm doing on Thursday is going to be a Q&A session. So you can ask me anything you want, within reason, obviously. But if you have any questions that you want to specifically ask me about my layout, or you just want to get my opinions on things, feel free to ask then as well. And also, if you just want to ask your own model railway questions, I can't promise I'll be able to help, but I'll give it a go. But yeah. And then Standard 406 says mainline is Bachmann before the name Bachmann. Yes, I think I was aware of that. I knew they had some sort of connection. I think it's just because I'm not particularly clued up on any Bachmann locos before they were Bachmann, if that makes sense. Which I know it doesn't really, but you'll get what I mean. Anyway. Worthington Model Railway says, I have a different favourite every time I run a few locos. A4s and rebuilt navies are regular. Yeah, I mean, they're fantastic, aren't they? Anfield Road Layout in the loft says, I like Steam is my best loco. Yeah, anything to do with Steam. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so Redvers B says, I'm sticking with DC for the time being. The cost of fitting chips to all my locos, plus the fact that a few of the locos I've had for a long time probably wouldn't be compatible. Yeah, I definitely get that as well, and it was a big reason why I didn't move over to DCC for quite a long time as well. I mean, to be perfectly honest, if the little J94 austerities weren't, if it wasn't possible to put decoders in those, then I don't think I would have moved over, really. Also, I was in a bit of a situation where, anyway, I'll probably do a video on it, but my garden railway layout, that runs on DCC and always has done, but the system for that failed, and so there was a bit of an accident involving a wire and a hedge trimmer. And you can put the two and two together there. All I'll say is it was my fault. It wasn't my fault. That was the thing. It wasn't my fault. That was what I was trying to say there. I think I just incriminated myself for something I didn't do. So anyway. Anyway, when it came around to buying a new system, I figured I might as well get one that would run both the Garden Railway and also my my OO gauge stuff as well. So yes. What was that? Redvers B was saying he's sticking with DC. But yeah, I totally get it. And there is a nice simplicity to DCC, not DCC, to DC as well. There's a simplicity to it that just sort of makes it fun, isn't it? And yeah, I get the cost of decoders as well is a big sort of off-putting thing. Although that said, I have found recently that it's just you can get good decoders for not too much these days. About £20 will get you a good Zimmo decoder. And I've basically got all Zimmo decoders in most of my locos, apart from one or two exceptions here and there. But yeah, it is a bit of a. It's a bit of a. I do get that it's an extra cost. What I tend to do is anytime I feel like buying a new loco, I tend to buy a selection of DCC chips instead, so I can run the ones I've actually got. So, so yeah, I sort of set aside a bit of money for that, and anyway, it's a whole thing. But yeah, I totally get that. Anyway, we've had this Class 25 running for a while, so what I'm going to do here is we're going to go back to the Superchat screen. So if you would like to see any of these locos running, now is your chance. I literally start talking about it, and Kelly Ashford donates £2 in the super chat. She says, "I don't like stinky diesels." Well, that's very good, because I was just stopping the Class 25. So, Kelly, what would you like to see running around then? These are the locos. Seeing as you've sent in a super chat, you haven't requested a loco, so let me know what you would like to see out of those engines there. We've had the Ginty running round already. We've had the Class 25 at the top there running as well. So anything else really is stuff we haven't seen tonight. So yeah, take your pick. Let me know. It's running along the bottom of the screen as well. I'm going to go back to the main screen now. Yeah, we'll go back to this one. In the meantime, I will run. What shall I run while we're waiting for an answer? Let's run. Oh, I've got to remember that this is all on DC and not DCC, and I can't just run locos without changing points. Right, we're gonna get the Terrier out because I want to show it off because I like Terriers. So here it is, coming around the top of the screen now, on the top left there, just coming out from under the bridge. So this is another Hornby one. It is. I'll go to that screen so you can see it a bit better, and we'll stop it in the station. So we're running with a rake of Southern coaches now. Yeah, tiny little dinky engines, these Terriers. Yeah, and this is, like I said, this is the A1X version. So this is when they were slightly rebuilt, got a slightly different smoke box on the front. Yeah, I really liked the Hornby, the Stepney that I had, and I like Terriers in general, and so I thought, you know what, I want one of each. So I'm going to get an A1 and also an A1X. So this, yeah, it worked really, really nicely. So yeah, let's get the, and of course that's got the some Southern coaches behind it as well. And again, this is a really nice smooth runner, and you can see it going over the double slip there. But yeah, really, really nice runner, this one. And that's the highest point of the layout there because of where the the brake is on the. Oh, I was going into the tunnel there. So there we go. It's disappearing there. We'll run this round for a couple of minutes just until we'll see if we get a response from Kelly Ashford, if she wants anything to run in particular. But yeah, I mean, I know there's probably going to be a whole thing about whether whether I should have gone for a Rails of Sheffield one or whether the Hornby one is good, but yeah, I quite like it. So, oh, here we go. All right, Kelly Ashford has donated again, and what does she say? Thomas, pretty please. I'm a bit tight on my budget. No problem at all. Thank you so much for donating, Kelly. That does really, really help. And we're going to stop the Terrier now that we've got that, and we're going to get Thomas out. This should be good fun. Right, so make some space in the fiddle yard here. I want to make sure I don't derail anything while I do, and we're going to send Thomas out now. Just need to put some chocks under the coaches so that they don't run away. And then, yeah, it has just occurred to me that I now don't have any through running in the fiddle yard because all my because everything is full up. Anyway, we'll get Thomas out. Right, everyone, cross your fingers because this was the first engine I ever got. So we're gonna see if he works. I have a bit of an idea of what we could do with him tonight. So here he should be coming out from under the bridge now. There we go. It's Thomas. Everyone loves Thomas. Here he is, coming into the station now. So yeah, this is my Hornby Thomas. First first model I ever got. It was given to me for Christmas, I believe, when I was about 4. So a long time ago. Anyway, let's. I've got an idea of what we can do. So hopefully you can see we've got those 2 little LNER 6-wheel coaches that are in the sidings just over there. I think if we get those out and get Thomas running with those, that would be quite nice for the stream, wouldn't it? I know they're not Annie and Clarabelle, but they're similar-ish. And aren't Annie and Clarabelle? They're not actually 4-wheel coaches anyway. Anyway, we'll have that discussion in a minute. Let me get Thomas on the move so that we can get him into those sidings so that he can take out those carriages. So there he goes over the double slip now. We'll just stop him here and then we can reverse him back over the points. The slight disadvantage of doing everything DC from doing DC tonight is that my points controller and the track controller are at completely opposite ends of the room, which means I have to, when we're doing stuff like this, it means I have to do a bit of walking. But yeah, Thomas also running quite nicely now as well. There we go. So yeah, this isn't the Bachmann one with the moving eyes and all that stuff. So I sometimes I do wonder whether I should get one of those ones just to do a comparison of the two. But I do also like the fact that this is sort of my original one. He might get a bit jealous if I got another Thomas. So here we go. We're going to couple him up to those coaches there. Has he actually coupled up? I don't think he has. Oh, he has. Oh, fantastic. Okie doke. Right, well, we can run these back into the platform. Then Thomas can run round them so he gets to face the front and he isn't just facing the back of a coach. Because that would be a bit cruel, wouldn't it? There you go. Lovely coaches there. And then here comes Thomas. Do you know, I think these could actually look quite good together. They're almost sort of like a realistic version of Annie and Clarabelle, aren't they? I know that they're not in reality. They're generic coaches from Hornby. But let me just do a bit of uncoupling here. There we go. Oh, I almost uncoupled them and then recoupled them again, which wasn't particularly handy. Right, so I need to... Oh, no, not that way. This way. There we go. So we'll run him back round the loop as soon as I've switched all the points. Yep, that's all good. Okay, right. Here we go then, Thomas. So yeah, I mean, I think originally the coaches that are in the Railway series books, they're not actually 4-wheel coaches anyway, as the TV show depicts them. They were meant to be bogie coaches of some sort, weren't they? I don't know what type in particular. I'm sure there's someone who is much more au fait with the... Oh, has he stalled? I think he has stalled. Oh, no, there we go. He got himself going again. There we go. Yes, I'm sure there's somebody who knows more about the Thomas universe than I do, who can correct me on what coaches Annie and Clarabelle were actually supposed to be, but unfortunately I don't know. I just know that they're depicted in the books as bogie coaches, and then for some reason when it came to making the TV series they decided not to do that. This is kind of like a nice sort of little midpoint, isn't it? Like it's they're not 4-wheel coaches, they're 6-wheel coaches. They're not quite bogie coaches, but they've got more wheel. Anyway, let's get Thomas running because that's what we all want to see, really, isn't it? Is he going to make it through the yard all right? It looks like he will do. And those coaches are running nicely as well. Let's see him as he comes around the corner here. And then off into the tunnel. Oh, there we go. Now I'm going to put you on a bit of a split screen while I go and change all the points to make sure he doesn't crash. Although actually, that being said, he's behaving himself at the moment. Well, I was going to say that, but you're going to see what's happened now. Yeah, he seems to have left his coaches behind. Right, this is almost like a Thomas story now, isn't it? Where have they got to? Oh, they're here in the fiddle yard. Right, I'm gonna have to. Right, let's see if I don't really know why they've come uncoupled, if I'm perfectly honest. But I'm gonna run him back into the fiddle yard now. Let's we'll give you that shot there. It's a bit of a blurry camera, that one, but we'll run him back into the fiddle yard and we'll see if we can pick up these coaches. Our surrogate Annie and Clarabelle. And oh, there we go. Right, okay, take two. We're gonna run Thomas round again, and we're gonna see if he'll run properly this time and keep his coaches. Everyone cross your fingers when he goes back into the tunnel. All right, here we go. Is he going to come out the other end? On the top left there, is he going to be able to keep his coaches? Everyone cross your fingers in the chat. And he has indeed kept his coaches. Ah, fantastic. There we go. Right, so we can leave Thomas running now. He's a bit noisy, but that's all right. Oh, I've just looked at the time. We've only got 10 minutes to go. Well, we'll keep going for a little bit longer anyway, but I have been sort of neglecting the chat a bit. Kelly Ashford Train says that the LNER 6-wheel coaches are like Annie and Clarabelle. Yes, I've kind of made that point already, but I've only just seen your message now. But yeah, I think we're both on the same wavelength, aren't we there? Mark Hemmeldown Model Railway says, hi all in the chat. Hello, Mark. And Leighton's Loco says the same, as do a lot of people, actually. Railway 187 says, Thomas is doing great considering his age. He really is, isn't he? He's still got that sort of youthful charm about him, hasn't he? Especially if you look at the latest series from Mattel, but I think we won't talk about that, will we? We'll leave that one unsaid, shall we? Tim Maslin says, can I ask where you get your back scenes from? I'm surprised that so many people are interested in the back scenes, because it's literally just, it's like a 25-year-old Pico back scene that was on my original layout. You can't see it on the camera really, but it's all sort of torn and scratched and ripped in places. So yeah, I'm surprised that it's not going to be staying for very long. This is just a temporary thing until I get something better done. But yes. Bridgefoot says they look like Pico ones. Yes, Bridgefoot, you're absolutely right there. They are Pico ones. Kelly Ashford Train says Wilbur Audrey would love to see this. I hope he would. I hope he would. He had his own Thomas layout, didn't he? He did a Farquhar. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not entirely sure. I always defer to the experts on Thomas law. Seriously, if anyone's ever read that book that the Reverend wrote on, like I think it's called something like The Island of Soda, its people, its history, and its places, or something like that. It's not quite that, but you know what I mean. But I mean, the backstory and the lore that he goes into for Thomas the Tank Engine, for what is essentially this kid's book, it puts Tolkien to shame in some places. He's really gone all out with things. Anyway, yeah, it's a fascinating read if you sort of like that kind of fictional history stuff. And I certainly do like all that kind of, fictional history and backstory and stuff. It's making me want to... Oh, right, Thomas has stopped for some reason. Why has that happened? Has he derailed, or he has indeed? Right, let me sort that out. There we go. Right, off you go. Yeah, you take your eyes off Thomas for 1 second, and he will get into trouble, doesn't he? That's the It's just like the books all over again, isn't it? It's a wonder that the Island of Soda ever had any decent rail travel with all the things going on there. Oh, and he's now left his coaches behind again. Fantastic. Right, let me stop that. I'm going to get him to pick up those coaches again. There we go. Yes, all right, I know. We might have to run him round the opposite way if he's gonna start misbehaving like this. Anyway, I'm running behind on comments. Gauge Adventure says I'm late again, but have to do homework. But I will still listen. No worries. You can always catch up on this in after the stream as well. The streams are available to watch afterwards as well. So yeah, I don't want you to get bad marks on your homework just for me. He's left his carriages behind again. And I don't know why he's doing it. Right. Okay. I'm gonna send him round the other way. We're gonna see if that fixes the problem. So yeah, we'll get him running around in both directions. So you'll see him coming from the bottom right now. No, he's immediately left the coaches behind again. I don't know what's going on with you today, Thomas. Right, we'll try one last time. And if not, we might have to send him round with some troublesome trucks. There he is, bottom right, just going round through there, and you'll see him on bottom left coming round behind the shed now. Right, fingers crossed, this is all right now. We shall see. We shall see. Railway 187 says, that Thomas has a nice glossy finish. Is he made of metal? No, he's literally just, it's the standard Hornby one from like the 90s, I guess. So yeah, it's just, he's left his coaches behind it. Right, that's it, Thomas. You're on your last, that was your last warning. You're running around now without any coaches. And so, as a result, I'm going to have to put some trucks on you. Yeah, he's been a bit of a runaway now, hasn't he? Right, all right, we'll reverse him back up and... he can sit there in the siding while I sort out some trucks for him, and he can think about what he's done. And exactly what that is in particular, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm sure we can figure out some sort of reasoning for it. I mean, the really embarrassing thing now will be is if he suddenly starts. I'm getting some wagons and stuff ready for him, and I've just dropped one of them. The really embarrassing thing now will be is if I put these wagons on him and then they still get uncoupled, and then I don't think we can really blame Thomas. We have to blame me. This is the nice thing about running engines like Thomas, is that I can blame it when things go wrong. I can blame it on the engines and not just me. Which is a bit cruel, really, when you think about it. Anyway, yeah, it was never the driver's fault in Thomas, was it? It was always the engine's fault, mind you. I suppose if you sort of give the engines a personality, that's kind of comes par for the course, really, doesn't it? Right, I'm going to try running him a bit slower as well. We'll see if this helps. So he's been demoted now. He's running around with some wagons instead. Oh, right. Well, that's not really worked, has it? Let's see. Oh, if I go to a shot where you can actually see him, yeah, he's derailed again. Yes, I know. Why are you right? All right. Am I going to have to run you round? I'm going to have to run him round like this, I think, because evidently he's got something going on with his coupler. Oh, and now that it's all going wrong. Okay, right. Let me bring this set of wagons round. Can we do this? Is that going to couple there? Right. Cross your fingers for, again. We'll see if this makes any difference. I'm not sure it will, though. So lots of questions coming in, and I'm sort of missing a lot of them because I'm trying to keep my head and sort of on the railway, and also derailing Thomas as well, which I'm hoping is going to make it round the layout unscathed this time. I'm slightly doubtful of that, though. Oh, actually, there we go. He's made it all the way around. But yeah, like I was saying, if you would like to ask a question and sort of have more of a chance of getting a response, then you'd be. I am doing a Q&A stream on Thursday. I had to think for a moment there. Yeah, so Thursday we're doing another live stream. That's going to be a Q&A. We are going to have trains running, but it's going to be a bit more focused on me actually looking at the chat and just answering your questions and making sure I get to them. For that one, if you do want to have a specific question answered, then then you can always send in a super chat, and that's guaranteed to get me to notice you. Basically, I mean, if you ever want me to notice you in particular, the best way to do that is to get a super chat in, because it puts up a big alert on my screen and makes a big noise, and it's difficult for me to ignore. So, and also you get to request a loco when that happens as well. So it's a win-win. Right. So let's. So we've got a few questions, or a few little comments here. Muteki Fedora says, apparently Thomas was supposed to be a J50. What's your opinion? Yeah, so I believe the Reverend Audrey did specify that originally Thomas was a J50. But it looked a bit weird because obviously they have those big sort of sloping tanks, and I think when it came to a bit of a when they came to doing the illustrations for him, they decided on an E2 in the end, didn't they? Or it's something sort of like an E2. I mean, this Thomas that we've got running around at the moment is based on the Hornby E2 sort of molding, isn't it? But as it's a bit longer, the E2, isn't it, than Thomas? So yeah, it's an interesting anything anyway. Redvers B says, "Oh no, it's not the Inglenook challenge again, is it?" That's a throwback to the live stream we did at the end of last week, where I failed miserably to do some shunting. No, don't worry. We're not doing the Inglenook challenge again. Those are just the wagons that I had lying around that hopefully it seemed to be running quite well at the moment. Iron Horse Railway says, use magnetic couplings, mate. Solved all my derailing issues in relation to couplers. Yeah, it's something I am considering about. Actually, if you, especially looking at those new wagons that Accurascale have announced recently, and they use magnetic chain couplers on that, so that looks interesting. The difficulty I would have with that is A, converting all my stock over to it, and B, it's difficult to, well, as far as I know, I don't know how you do automatic uncoupling with magnets. I know that obviously it's not easy to do with tension locks either. But yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum, really, isn't it? So yeah, if anyone does know how you do automatic uncoupling with magnets, I'd be very interested to hear how that works, because I believe I had a little sort of Google about it at some point, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't really find anything for it, so I just assume it isn't possible. But anyway. So yeah, Mark Hameldown Model Railway says, good to see some DC trains running today. Good stuff. Another enjoyable stream. Oh, thank you very much. We are coming to sort of the closing stages of this stream now. But I will just say, if you want to get a super chat in, if you want to sort of extend the evening a bit, then you can send in a super chat to see one of these locos. We have seen the Class 25. We have seen the Ginty. We briefly saw the Southern Terrier. And now we've got Thomas running around the layout at the moment. So if you'd like to see any of those other locos that are on there, do send in a super chat, and you can see some of those running around the layouts. If not, we'll finish up in a minute. I think we might do a little bit of a finale again, where I try and run everything around the layout all at once. But we'll see what happens there. But yes. Anyway, actually, speaking of that, I need to yeah. Right. So. Let's go back to the split screen. Yeah, and like I said, don't forget to tune in on Thursday for a little bit of a Q&A stream. I will be answering more of your questions there. So anyone who I didn't get to in the chat tonight, don't worry, just tune in on Thursday as well, and I'll be answering more questions there. Also, for Thursday, I'm going to be showing some of your videos on the live stream. I want to promote some of your guys' YouTube channels. And so, yeah, I think it would be really, really awesome to find, I don't know, maybe the next Sam's Trains, or the next Jenny Kirk, or the next New Junction, shall we say. So, yeah, I think it would be awesome to, because I know there are a lot of you creating great videos out there that just the way that the YouTube algorithm works, you don't necessarily always get the attention you deserve. So if you have, we've had some great submissions already, and I'm working my way through the submissions as we, not as we speak, but during the day, that's what I'm doing. So thank you so much to everyone who has submitted a video so far. If you haven't received a response yet, don't worry, I will get to you eventually. I will send everybody a reply just to say thank you. But yes, if you would like to send in a video, if you do your own YouTube model railway stuff, that if you make model railway videos on YouTube and you have a channel of your own, do please send in your videos. The rules are they can only be 5 minutes long because we just want to keep it fair for everybody. We don't want to give too, we don't want to sort of overload the stream with it being too long. The other thing as well is that they need to be about model railways, obviously, but they can be anything about model railways. So it could be a loco review, could be a running session from your layout, it could be a tutorial of some sort, absolutely anything you like. And obviously just try and make it as good as you can. So yeah, but today is the deadline for that. I have been talking about this for a while now, so if you do want to send that in, send an email to hello@thatmodelrailwayguy.com with the video link, so with the link to your video on YouTube, so I can find it and then I can link to your YouTube channel afterwards. And yeah, just send me a quick description about what that is. Anyway, I think that is pretty much it. We haven't had any more super chats come in at the last minute, so I think that means we should sort of finish on time tonight. We'll watch Thomas go around the layout once more, I think, as he comes around the curve there, and then as he comes into the station, I think we might just slow him down. Shall we? We'll do a bit of a grand finale here. So actually, what I was going to do is I was going to let him go, but yeah. As he comes around the bend now, we'll do a bit of a crazy thing where I try and run all the locos again and see what actually happens. This could be a bit of a disaster. Right. Okay. So we're going to go to the split screen again. Let's see what happens here. So we'll watch Thomas come round another go. This is going to be the end of the end of the stream now. So Thomas is going to come round one more time, and then hopefully, once he's gone round, we'll get another engine going round as well. So here you can see the Class 25 is making another appearance again. And then hopefully Thomas is going to end up back in the fiddle yard. There we go. And then after the Class 25 has run round, I'm going to have to get something else out, aren't I? So the Class 25 is coming into the fiddle yard now. I'm going to stop that, and I'm going to get the H class out. We'll do that. Oh, I've made a bit of a mistake there because I've forgotten to change the points at the other end of the layout. But here comes the H class as well. That is now running. We'll speed that up a bit as well, I think. And then as that goes round, we'll send another southern sort of themed railway engine round. At the top left there is the Terrier. That's coming round again now. There we go, and it's all go in the fiddle yard at the moment. And then we're going to get, yeah, we'll have the Ginty run round as well one last time. So we're back where we started now. So this is going to be the end of the live stream now. Anfield Road Layout in the loft says, I have. Well, I'm presuming that means you've got a channel and you want to send a video on your layout. The email to send in a video is hello@thatmodelrailwayguy.com, and I'll leave this Ginty running just for a moment while I say goodbye. Oh no, actually I can't do that because that's the siding where Thomas is. Never mind. Right, it's all go in the fiddle yard here. If you could see me, I'm literally running from one end of the room to the other. So yes, if you would like to send in a video, hello@thatmodelrailwayguy.com. It's if you check out the video I made a couple of weeks ago, or if you check out the the video I made a couple of weeks ago was the sort of the one talking about the schedule for these live streams. It's called something like "I Need You" or something like that, and that's all about sending in your videos. Or you can check out my community tab on YouTube. If you go to my channel and click the community tab, that will show that I think the most recent post on there is from is from a that last post. Sorry, I got distracted by something. I thought an engine was going to crash. Anyway, that last community post that I did was all about how you could send in your videos, and there was a little stool there from the Ginty. So we'll let it go around one more time, and then we'll say goodbye. I think because we are doing them. Worthington Model Railway says, "Are you confirming receipt of of email videos?" I will be. I just haven't gotten around to doing all of them yet. So if you've sent in a video and you haven't had a reply yet, please don't worry. I will get round to replying to your email eventually. I just want to make sure. Well, it just takes a bit of time anyway. So yes, I will get round to replying to everybody eventually. So don't worry if you haven't had a response yet. Anyway, here we see the Ginty coming through under the bridge just now, and I think this is where we'll stop him in the station. So this is where I think we'll end it tonight as he comes around the corner now. And yeah, back where we started right at the beginning of the stream as we come in here. A nice slow stop there, perfectly in frame. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. This has been really, really fun to do. As I said, on Thursday we are going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A stream. Let's actually, just before we go, that's the schedule. So we've done the live running session, we've done the live shunting session. Today was the DC only running session, so now we've only got 2 live streams left. So join me on Thursday, the 7th of October at 7 p.m. That will be a live Q&A. I'll also have the trains running, and then we've got the extended live running session on at 2 p.m. on Saturday as well. But yeah, so fantastic. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. This has been a really, really fun little stream to do. It's been lovely to run something a bit different, and yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Yeah, I think that's everything I have to say. I hope you've had a good time, and I will see you on Thursday for another stream. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.